Welcome to Jerry's Fish Room.
All right, guys, welcome back to Jerry's Fish Room. I am so glad to be back. I know it's been a few weeks. I'm going to drop another video this week for you. This one is going to be on my discus tank. I know it's been a little bit since I put them out, and I apologize. Things have just been a little bit crazy with work and everything. So, here we go, and let's go take a look at the discus tank. I'm going to show you where it stands right now, but I'm going to get in there and do some reworking, remove a bunch of plants, try to get a little more focus on the discus so I can see them, because I've got a pretty good jungle going on, as you'll see here in just a moment. So with that all being said, let's go on and check out this tank. All right, guys, so here is the discus tank. This is the 180-gallon discus tank. As you can see, the Vallisneria, the jungle val, has gone wild. Which I like the look of it. I really do. And I think if I didn't have the focus fish, the discus in there that I have, I'd probably not make any changes to this tank. But I just love my discus. I love to be able to see them. Sometimes they kind of get lost in the background, especially with all this jungle val up front. So we're going to go in here and we're going to clean this up. And then once I clean it up, I'll come back to you guys and we'll show you what it looks like, get a little bit of a focus on the discus themselves. But for the meantime, that's kind of where we're at. Now, being that all said, I unfortunately lost another discus last night. I'm assuming his belly was swollen, so it was probably some sort of bloat. Just really don't understand it. Again, I don't see it, so I didn't see anything wrong with it. The fish was eating fine. Just came in yesterday afternoon and he was floating at the top, and it was one of the dark angels. I've just struggled myself with the Stenker discus. I'm not saying anything negative about them. I don't really know, but I've talked about it in past videos. This guy here that you're seeing in the front, he's only about 3.5 inches big, and I've had him for probably every bit of almost a year. So he's just not growing. He's stunted. Had a problem with that. Now, feeding wise, I've taken them off of the beef heart just for the simple reason that there's just so much natural or so much fat in that food, and had done some research and heard that it's not such a good thing for them. I mean, it's not natural in their diet anyway. They don't get fed that in the wild, and I do know that these are tank raised, so there's a little bit different. There's a lot of people who swear by it, but for me, just not going down that road. So I've shifted them to pretty much basically once a day they'll get crave food, and then once a day they'll get a mixture of bloodworms and brine shrimp. I like to throw the brine shrimp, and I've got them eating it now in there because that's actually should help a bit with the bloat problem in helping keeping their intestines cleaned out. Again, I don't really understand what happened. I've lost a couple of the discus this way. I've had not the best of luck with the discus. Tank water is fine. They're doing fine. 25 parts per million tops in this tank. Just don't really understand it. But I am clearly not going to be giving up on it. So we're going to make this work somehow, some way. The other reason, just to touch base while you're still looking at this jungle tank, is that I am planning on downsizing this tank. I just decided that, man, it's a lot of tank for just the little fish that I have. And quite frankly, I love my discus and I will still keep them, but I just can't, quite frankly, afford putting as many fish in here as I thought I was going to. I've had a pretty hefty investment in here so far, and I've lost about 4 or 5 of them, and so that equates to a decent amount of money, about $300-400 worth of fish that I've lost. But I can't afford to keep going buying 4 and 5 at a time. So I'm going to downsize. I've got I think I got 7 left over in here now. So I'm looking at here in the future downsizing this to maybe around a 90-gallon tank. It's sitting in my bedroom, and again, I love the 180, but I think this thing is just really suited for me to do Severums or something like that in it. And you know, I'd like to get a little something smaller. My wife really loves the idea of having these discus in the master bedroom, because when we both come in here at night, chill out, relax before we go to sleep, just a wonderful looking thing to look at is these discus. And so we're going to do some work on this for now. I'm working at finding a new home for this 180, and hopefully replacing it with, I think my thoughts are, my goal is a 90 gallon. Again, I like the 4-foot footprint. Don't want to get into anything much bigger than a 4-foot footprint in here. I think 75, while it would work with some discus, I'm not sure I want to go that small. I prefer to stay at around the 90 range, and I can still work these 6 or 7 discus that I have in there, and then it'll make them more pronounced in the tank where I actually get to enjoy them a little bit. As you can tell, it's kind of dark in the back there. That's got a lot to do with some of the work I got to do. Got duckweed in the tank, and that duckweed shifts over to this side of the tank and just pretty much blocks all the light out. And I got a beautiful Amazon sword in the back that I want to keep going, which my good friend Brandon, the blind fish keeper, gave me. So we're going to get in here. We're going to take a look at this, and we're going to try to rework it. I'm not throwing any of this valve out. I'm going to replant some of it in some of my other tanks. And then I've got my local fish store guy. I talked with him, and anything extra I have, I'm just going to go ahead and give it to him. It'll help his business. People will buy it from him, and I'm not looking to get anything out of it. I always like just growing the hobby and give people opportunity to maybe get some of this stuff and and help out my local fish guy. So for now, guys, we're going to drop this here, and I'm going to go in and do some work, and then I'll bring you back and show you the final product. All right, guys, so this is the after picture or after video. Now I'll come back in a little while, another couple hours, and get a little better look at it. It is pretty cloudy right now because of all of the soil and stuff that I've stirred up in here, but you can tell that I've kind of cleaned things up a little bit, opened it up so I can see the fish a little better. Still have some cover in the back for the fish that they want to go hide. I've been trying to get some mollies, about 4 more mollies, dark black mollies in here that I can't seem to get out of here. Want to get them out. But as you can tell, things are looking a lot more wide open. Trimmed up that Amazon some. In the middle of filling this thing back up right now. And we'll come back and take a look at it when it gets nice and crystal clear, and then I'll put that. All right, guys, so here it is, a couple hours later, all cleared up. As you can see, things are a lot more opened up, a lot more cleaner. My fish are kind of stepping out, and they're still a little skittish. As you can see, they're all grouped together right there. They're a little bit dark still. But these are my discus. Again, like I said, unfortunately I lost one of them. It's been a bit of a struggle with these guys, kind of a bittersweet process with them, as we know that discus are expensive, and I've probably lost upwards of 6 or 7 of them. I had about 13 or 14 to start with when I originally started this whole process. Not necessarily in this 180. I had a few in the 55 when I first got discus, and I lost those. But the water quality hasn't been an issue. It's just been kind of crazy with these guys. A bit of parasites, I believe, some of the battle. The other was, like I think I saw on this last one or two that I've lost, have been like of a bloat type situation. But these guys are just, I mean, you can see I still totally love the colors, totally love the way they look. Again, as you can tell, they are still a little bit dark right now from me being in there messing with everything. In here as well, you can see I've got a group of neons in here, as well as some rummy nose down there at the bottom. Somewhere hiding in here, I have about 4 or 5 Cory cats. There's still some mollies that are hanging out in the back somewhere. If we can kind of zoom in here, they're You see a couple of mollies that are just chilling out. Again, the fish are a little bit skittish still because this has all been quite a disruption for them. And then I still have about 40 or so ember tetras that are schooling. And hopefully this will work out well. There's the mollies I was talking about. Looking forward to just the development of this tank. Again, this tank is going to be here for a little while until I end up trading it in or selling it, as I am going to downsize because these fish are so beautiful, but the tank is just way more tank than what I'm going to do for Discus, especially since the cost of them is a bit prohibitive. You know, you can spend anywhere from $60 for a 2-inch fish all the way up to $150 for a 6-inch fish. So this is kind of where I'm going to live with these guys. We'll try to get them in something a little bit smaller, a little more pronounced for them. But this is the update on the 180 Discus tank. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm still kind of digesting it a little bit. I just wanted to kind of group things up a little bit. It wasn't a lot of moving around that I had to do. I wanted to get that sword where it was kind of pronounced, and you know, and was able to get a lot of the light. As you can tell, I got rid of a bunch of the duckweed. There's still some in there, some floating scraps of valves as well. But I just wanted to kind of section the tank off to have your jungle growth kind of on one side. You know, I got some nice Java fern up here in the rocks, and then kind of the center stage with this piece of driftwood that my wife picked out a little over 2 years ago at Aquatics here in Orlando. Then I have the Anubias, and you can tell, man, look at them roots growing on that Anubias. It's well established. Those cryptocorns that I got, again, just kind of using them to surround this centerpiece driftwood. Those cryptocorns are probably upwards of about 6 inches, 7 inches in height. Real bushed out. I actually was able to pull a couple of smaller ones off of it and put them in another tank. And then again, trimmed up this Amazon sword, and then got this Anubias over here in this Dragonstone. So liking what I'm seeing so far. We'll see how this shakes out, especially once they settle down. I'll shoot a quick update. Post it probably on my Instagram. May do a short as well. Look for Jerry's Fish Room 1965 for the Instagram page. And guys, if you're interested, you know, I still do have the merch. You can check it out in the link in the description through Teespring. Also, if you're looking for fish, Consolidated Fish Farms do a great job. Awesome fish. And that link is in the description as well. So guys, till next time, again, apologize for being so long since the last video. We'll try to do a little bit better, but hope you love it. And you know what's coming next. That's right. Keep loving the fish.